Are you wanting to make a scarf but don't want to look like you have an Afghan hanging around your neck or look like you're wearing a scarf from 1970s? Stay tuned, I will show you how to make a scarf that looks fantastic. If you have ever tried to use homespun yarn, it has a really cool texture. It doesn't show your stitches, but at the same time, since it doesn't show your stitches, it's very difficult to make a square project. So today I'm going to show you how you can crochet this scarf. This is using homespun, and I have the link down below of the yarn that I used. But I am first going to show you on just regular Afghan yarn so that you can see what it means to crochet in the back loops. It kind of gives it a nice rib texture. So the first part of the video is going to be with regular yarn. Then I'm going to show you the trick to be able to make a square project using the homespun. So let's get started. The scarf that I made is 6 inches wide by about 70 inches long. So I'm going to do the same width on worsted weight yarn so that you can see the technique. You start with a slip knot, and I just do mine by wrapping it around my index finger and thumb and drawing up on the yarn. I am using a larger hook. It's a size K, but you do want to use a larger hook when you're doing the homespun yarn. So I'm going to use the same size hook, and I am going to crochet until it's 6 inches wide. Okay, so there we have 6 inches wide, and now I want to chain 2 more to start my row. So we're going to chain 2, and now in the third chain from the hook, we're going to do a half double crochet. So here's 1, 2, 3, half double crochet. You loop it over once, insert it into your chain, draw through all 3 on your hook. And on your base row, I'm not going to worry about crocheting in the back loops. I'm just going to do it in all of the loops there. So what I mean by that is I am inserting it, both the loops of the chain below are on the top of my hook. Okay, so here we have our half double crochets. It's still roughly 6 inches wide, but at this point you need to count how many half double crochets you have. But this one, to count a half double crochet, you're just counting that middle stitch there. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then we're going to count these first chains here is 20. So we do our next row. You start by chaining 2. You turn. This first stitch here is already taken it with those chains. So you loop over, and in the back loop of the half double crochets from before, so this is the front loop, this is the back loop. You insert your hook in only the back loop, and you draw through all on the hook. Loop over once, go into the back loop, and draw through all on the hook. You do that on every stitch across that row. Okay, I'm down to the chain 2 that we started with the row, and you do a stitch in that because that's considered a half double crochet, so you still go in the back loop of that one. And at the end of every row on this scarf, because it is so hard, the texture of the homespun, you have to count. So just get in the habit now. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. So you have 20 half double crochets back and forth. So when you chain 2 and turn, and again, that one's already taken care of, and we go in the back loop of the next row, you will see how the rib pattern starts revealing itself. And that is what makes the homespun scarf pretty cool. So that's the demonstration on the worsted weight. Now I'm going to show you how to do it on the homespun. Okay, now we're ready to do the same thing, but this time with the homespun. I'm going to chain about 6 inches wide, and I'm going to start with my slip knot. The homespun, it's very stringy, so even sometimes just a simple chain, you're going to get caught up on some strings. It is a little harder to rip out your stitches, but it's all doable, easy, when you're patient. So I'm just going to chain 6 inches nice and loose, and then I got to my 6 inches, so I'm going to add 2 for my turning stitch. See, like right there, it already caught a string on your hook, and so it's hard. You can't pull through that. So it's not a big deal. You just work through it and pull your stitch. So here the problem is, I'm getting ready to tell you to do a half double crochet in the second chain from the hook. You can't physically see that, even with good glasses. So you have to feel your way on this kind of yarn. So here is 1 stitch, here is 2, and so we are going to do a half double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. So we're going to loop it over once, and we're going to pull it through all 3. And so then to fill your next one, you can feel that, okay, there's the next chain, so we're going to put a half double crochet there. We're not going in the back loops yet, so just feel over. There's the next one. Okay, there's the first row complete. You just have to feel it. So here is 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 stitches across. So at the end of this row, we'll have to do a count to make sure there's 12. So to start the row, we're going to chain 2. That will count for this first stitch right here. This next stitch here, we are going to go in the back loop. So you're going to have to kind of put your finger through the half double crochet below and go in the back loop just like we did in the worsted. And so we'll go to the next one, put your finger through the stitch if you can, there we go, and go in the back loop. And there again, see there's some strings caught on there that's haven't given me a tough time, so you just kind of pull off your strings and just wiggle your hook through. And find your back loop. There we go. See, there's the front, there's the back. And pull through all 3 on your hook. So let me finish this row, and then we need to count to make sure that we have 12 stitches. Okay, I just finished that row, and remember that the beginning chains count as a stitch, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there you have your first couple rows done. So I'm going to do one more to reinforce the back loop concept. So we're going to do 1, 2, turn your project. Okay, so these chains go to that stitch. So we are going to go in the back loop of this next one. So you just really just have to feel, if you can't visually see it, and feel for your next one. There it is. And at the end of this row, we will count to make sure we have 12. Okay, 3rd row is done, and let's count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and those beginning chains are 12. And so now you can see what the crocheting in the back loops does for it. It just gives it a nice look. If you don't want to crochet in the back loops, that's the cool thing about homespun. It gives it a texture of its own. So here I am at the end, and I'm just going to finish that off and weave my tail in and give it a little tight knot so that we're finished. The finished scarf on this one is 6 inches by 70 inches, and it took 1 skein of Homespun Thick and Quick. And I have links to the yarn down below. So if you ever have any questions during this project, let me know. I do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. But as always, thank you for watching DIY on the House.